Hey everyone. Oh, that's not how well, hey. Anyways, today I'm super excited. I have the honor of having on Live, Love, Laugh, Let Go Out Loud. If there's one girl that has done all those things, is my next guest, Michelle Eldridge. I just love this girl and I'm excited to spend this time with you and her. I put a little montage together, so let me intro with that. Welcome, the one and only Michelle Eldridge. I'm telling you, I'm so privileged and honored to have you here. You just walked in the door, so we didn't even get to talk, so this will be super exciting. Go ahead and share this from my wall to your wall so that people can interact with us, because they're not going to want to miss it. Can you even hear me? Can I hear you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted myself so that just in case somebody ran behind me. Hello. I'm excited to be here. But I do not have a way to share this because I don't have my computer on, but I will be sharing it.
Okay, not a problem. Anyhow, I want to welcome you aboard here. I'm super excited. There's a lot going on, and I actually have to share it on my wall too because I didn't post it. But I'm gonna let you go ahead, and I might as well. This will give you and me a minute. I did a little special thing here, and I love the music for it. You're such a giving, caring person, and your story is amazing, and we're going to share that here in a little bit. But you're such a giving person. I just wanted to put this little thing together really quick and show people some stuff about you. So here we go. And I love the song too. So listen to the song.
Grab your friends, find your enemies and make amends, and we'll meet in the middle. Take the pride and set it aside. My hands will build you a shield, and we'll solve the riddle. And we'll remember these times, we'll remember these times. Oh, oh, oh. And we'll remember these times, we'll remember these times.
I just love that.
That is so good.
Well, you're just a sweetheart, and I think people just don't realize what an awesome person you are. You're always, my co-host for my next show is watching, so thank you, Brian, for being here. She's trying to get herself situated here, so
I'm trying to share this so that I do
too. So. Hey, we're live, we're doing this, whatever, it's all going to work out good. Oh, I've got it sharing on my page. So there we go. Let's see. Hey, you two from Canada. Hi, Sandy. Thank you for being here with us. I am super excited. So I'm just going to put you on the spot really quick. And have you ever gotten to watch my show? Even a little bit? Have you ever gotten to watch any of my shows?
I've not. Oh, actually, yeah, I did. Who did I watch with you?
I'm only asking because I don't know if you even know what you're in for here. No, just kidding.
Well, I usually don't know, and I don't ask because I feel like anything's better on the fly. And I would go research like, oh, let me go see what's going to happen. What questions do they ask? Should I ask for the questions? And then I just got so that I was just like, you know what? It's always better if I don't freak myself out. And even if it gets, it's got weird. I've been whatever. And so it's like, it's still better when it's on the fly. It doesn't matter.
I agree. And that's just I just want you to know that my show is about live, love, laugh out loud, and people that have been vulnerable share their story, show that was their story, but it didn't stop them from succeeding and doing things. And you're such an amazing person. It inspired me for a few years now, and we became friends. We don't get to talk often or anything, but you just got a loving heart. And my show is about appreciating those people that have had an impact on me. Like I had Ray on the show, and that was really cool. And starting out the show with you you, or the year with you, I'm pretty honored, and you know, you're royalty when it comes to genuineness and kindness, and I just love you for that. And so go ahead and just introduce yourself a little bit. I have a lot of questions. I'll probably fill in a lot of blanks for everybody for you. But if you want to just give the 30-second pitch here, and then we'll go on, because you got an amazing story, girl.
Okay, so the 30-second nutshell version here is, you know, my name is Michelle Eldridge.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, that was me. Go ahead.
I don't think I said that delayed. That's what I was hoping it wasn't me, because mine already rang once. So I am Michelle Eldridge. I'm from Tennessee. I have 2 littles. I have been with my husband for almost a decade, and I have been sober for 9 years of that. And I am a former, you know, homeless. I used to be homeless and live on the street. I was a drug addict. That's the way that I grew up around it all my life. I went down that path, and I ended up in jail and all these things. And fast forward to now, I am in the direct sales industry, and it really was my godsend. Direct sales, network marketing, whatever. It really was my godsend. It was the only thing that, you know, I didn't need somebody to check my background, even though it had been forever years old. I still couldn't even get a job at the dollar store. So it's really nice to be in a place and succeed in a place that's so open to no matter who you are. And that's what I'm grateful for. I am super, super duper, my thing, the thing that I love the most. Like, you know, the thing that I sell is makeup. The thing that I love is culture. I love team culture and learning about that, and helping leaders and keeping their teams on their team, right? And so that they're not scaring people away. So I've dove into that in the last little bit, and teaching other people. I get to speak on stages and do all kind of cool stuff. But I've really, it's still shocking to me that this is my life. That in just 3 years, I was able to, like, in 2020, I made 6 figures. It was my first 6-figure year. And, you know, I know it was like 1 year was like 13,000, and that was a lot, right? Like, and then, and before that, 5 or 6 was what we were living on. And then it went way up, like, whoa. And then in 2020, it was 6 figures. So it's like a dream. It's like been a fairy tale for me. And I just love getting to do it. It doesn't feel like work. It is work. It is work, but it doesn't feel like work. And I love getting to just have fun and show up on social media and meet people like you. I mean, I'm so honored to just be here. We've been trying to do this, and schedules were insane and back and forth. And I'm just so glad that we were able to be brought together, because that's what it's about. And I didn't even realize that's what I was missing until I had it. And I was like, dang.
I'm just super excited about, I'm going to get you through a bunch of questions here, and your story is going to evolve, and it's going to be pretty exciting. So thank you in advance. So let's just start with what meaning does living your best life have for you personally?
Living your best life to me is actually living, not just existing, not just going through the motions. Like, that's the place I was in for most of my life. And it was just this, I'm breathing, my heart is beating, but I'm going through the motions. I'm not actually living. I'm more worrying or stressed out about something or something like that. It's not a place of actual living. So living your best life to me is, it's not about the worry or the stress or whatever. It's actually living, doing things that you want to do with people you want to do them with, whether it's actual physical activities, whether it's conversations, whether it's whatever. but it's being present in your life, living it, not so much seeing your day-to-day as a chore. That's what it's.
So let me ask you this question. You said you didn't see yourself imagining the life you have now, but there's got to be a part of you that was nudging you that way or dreamed it or something for this to come to fruition. Do you even recall those subtle desires to make a difference when you just really wanted to give up?
I knew. So when I took the job at the dollar store, I knew I had to do something. There was nothing in me that wanted to live off food stamps for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? There was just nothing in me that wanted that.
Right.
And that's not the case for all people. They're fine living off of it. And that's not for me to judge.
Right.
But I know for me, that just was not what I wanted my forever to be. I didn't want my kids to have to grow up in the same stuff. And so when I'm searching, I'm like, I don't have any money, but I've got to make, like, my electric was literally going to be cut off. So I needed something, but I couldn't see the bigger picture until after I legitimately sold my kids' toys, pictures off my wall, a couple pieces of clothes that I couldn't really afford to get rid of on Facebook to get the makeup kit that I needed. And I got it. And from there, right there in that moment, that thing was in front of my face, me not ever wearing makeup or knowing what the crap I had. I was just like, you know what? Why not? Why can't I do this? I knew from that moment that if there was a way for anybody else to learn, there was a way for me to learn, and I was going to take it all the way. And I never doubted it. I never had a second where I questioned my ability to learn and follow directions, ever.
I can say I can relate to that because at one time my husband had he was let go of his job, and I was making $83,000 back east, but I couldn't make that here in Billings, Montana. Right. And I wasn't going to leave my 3 babies. And I'm pretty shy, introvert type of thing, but he was like, go get a job. And I was like, well, that's not going to work that way. But I either took money to make money, or how are you going to pay the next bill? Right. So I got involved in at first, and then I made it my own company. But at first I started out with some pleasure party company with doing lingerie and adult toys and things like that. I'm like, what the heck? Hey, sex sells. So, I was like, I wasn't going to go get a regular day job and pay it all in daycare. So I totally get that. And it is amazing when you're determined it's either this choice or what other choice, So
it's the gift of desperation. It's that how comfortable are you being uncomfortable?
Correct. And that's what I admire about you, because I'm 55 and you're way younger than me, but I admire and inspired by you because I come from the Generation X where you were to be seen and not heard. And so the fact that you had the kahunas to actually say, this is who I am, this is what I am, and I'm going to do better for myself, I admire, because I didn't come from that old school. I came from school to be quiet. And so
funny, my great-grandparents raised me.
Okay.
So I am, it wasn't out of, when I initially spoke up about all the stuff that I knew the people in my small town thought they knew. When I initially came out and was just like, listen, this is what I used to be. That has nothing to do with what I'm going to show you here, but that's who I am. That initial thing was to protect myself. That was my way of getting to tell it my way without somebody else making it up for what they didn't even know. Exactly. And then thinking they're going to come one day and decide to tear down something I've built. You can't tear something down that started with the truth.
I love it. And I agree. That's why I resonate with you so much.
It was more a defense.
Absolutely. But you know what?
At first.
Right. And it doesn't matter how you got there, but you realize you had to change the trajectory one way or another, and you did. Yeah. And that's what anybody that's listening to this right now, if you're going through something, you got to realize you either go into the solution mode and find a solution to the problem, so it's not a problem, it's just a part of your past.
Yeah.
Which here we go. What do you love in your life other than your family right now?
What do I love in my life other than my family? My team. Like if it's people, then it's definitely my team. I'm in you talked about Ray Higdon. I'm in this group of called rank makers as well.
Yes, me too.
Most everything. That's what got me where I am. And my team and those people. Like if I ever, like if you told me 3 years ago, you're gonna love. You're going to have so many conversations. You're going to love talking to people. You're going to be like, you are going to be so invested in these other people's success that you will lose sleep. I would have probably laughed in your face. Like, no, I'll probably keep my distance from people. But truly, it's so insane to me how much that they matter to me. And I'm grateful that they do. I found a side of me that I didn't know existed. But I love them. And
they love you.
They're a part of me.
They love
keep
you.
me being better. Like, I know that they're watching me. Whether it's my team or some rank makers, they are watching me to see my example. And it's, how do you show up? How do you show up? So it keeps me better.
Accountable.
Yeah.
Accountable. But isn't it a blessing that your purpose for showing up is for those that can't show up for themselves as well, And when you realize, when you go through that little keyhole in life and you realize that you're right there, it's just amazing. You just want to share that with everybody. So, which, by the way, how's your health doing? How are you doing?
Actually, I didn't publicly when I did tell. So in 2020, the beginning of 2020, just to give some background for the people who may not know watching this video, at the beginning of 2020, my liver decided it wanted to kill me after having a liver disease for over a decade that never did anything. Overnight, it decided, die. You're gonna die. And it wasn't funny then. But anyway, long story short, ended up having a couple of people actually that work for the Higdon group like me. Mary Kate and Stacy, they nudged me to come out with it and ask for help, which was not an easy thing, because at this time I hadn't, I was still top 3% in my company, not top 1%. And so, and other things factor into that. But long story short, I was still 2 ranks behind where I am now. And so the pay was different. And there was no way for me to come up with almost $100,000. So anyway, we get on this thing. We come up with about $25,000 in donations, and then I rank this month, I rank the next month, not this month, but you know what I'm saying, in 1 month, and then the next I rank again, end up having all the money. And instead of telling everybody while I was going through it, I hid it because I didn't want people, because as soon as that video came out about me being sick, I mean, everybody could see my weight. I was so blown up at the time, but they still, they didn't know. And then when the video came out, they knew. They started treating me weird. It was like, I didn't like that. So I knew that I was going to go through the treatment, but I decided I'll record it all and post it after that's all over, so nobody has any way to treat me weird. Right. Because it's over. Right. So I went through that, and I was actually confirmed on this week. What is last week.
Today's the 5th, the end of last year then?
I think it was 31st. It was the day before the 1st. So yeah, 31st. The day I done the last Ray Daily in there. So it was the 31st. They call me. They tell me. I even got emails, all kinds of stuff, because I'm used to getting the emails, but I don't ever whatever, because I get blood work all the time. So I didn't care. And turns out I left the liver disease in 2020, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Oh, I'm so happy.
You're the first outside of like my husband, the Heating Group team. Y'all are the first to know. Well, my team, I told them on a power hour. So now it's in the open. Everybody knows.
That's awesome. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I know that I prayed a lot for you.
Oh, no.
I donated, I shared, I just cared.
I hadn't thought of how I was going to say it. So this worked out.
Yeah, well, it's just, it's just, I know, it's hard to receive. And I'm so like that, but like Ray said, and I was able to give him a lot of love, but you realize when you want to give it to somebody, like I wanted to help, I wanted to donate, I wanted to pray, I wanted to share your story, and all that stuff. And then I realized, well, gee, if they want to do that for me, it's disrespectful. And I was like,
sometimes that is the gift. It's not, you don't have to be the giver. Sometimes the gift is to receive. And sometimes if you don't allow somebody to do it for you, you're taking away a gift from them. And that was tough to wrap my head around and fully embrace. It really was, but I learned such a lesson in that, and I'm grateful for it. People that I'm telling you, I had no.
But you know what? Just imagine now you're in a position now that when you see someone needing something, you can empathize the way they feel.
I literally gave away like almost $8,000. Just gave it away with no
attachment. Yeah.
No, nothing.
No,
but did not bother me. It didn't hurt me. Didn't anything, and it was because I could.
But not only that, you know what it feels to receive now.
Yeah.
And you know what an impact and how it blessed you. So to be able to give back to somebody else with no expectations, it humbled you. It was a lesson you needed to learn in humility that
I didn't have to do it all by myself.
You didn't have it before because, you go from, being on drugs to going and getting money. You could just spend the money.
So.
Yeah, you could spend that money on whatever and still not be any attached to the value of it. And you have the value of caring and giving now. So that was a part that you had to go through so that you can definitely relate to other people and be authentic. So I thank you for sharing that on our show, that you're doing much better. Yay, I'm so glad. So we're not going to get out of seriousness now. And I want to ask you, what makes you laugh?
Right, at this particular moment.
Okay, how about this? How about this then? And I have the sound off because of rights, Facebook might close us off. But how about this? I just did this.
You know what? That was intentional, right? Do you get it?
Yes and no. Seconds before you got on here, I said, "Oh my gosh, she's on TikTok. I got a duet." So
first of all, when you initially asked the question, I was going to say, right now, my freaking TikTok is what makes me laugh. But I was like, I don't feel like that's deep enough.
Okay.
But that's what makes me laugh when I'm doing TikToks. But that particular TikTok is the way that if you're a marketer, you must think, or you will not get anywhere. I just started on TikTok, and I'm not, I know, find the trending songs, do the whatever. But I also saw a trend, and it was a thing just like that. It was a, they used the song. They said, if I just use this song, you would become TikTok famous, right? And my videos are getting crap views, right? Like I'm brand new. I suck. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I know for a fact that it's not going to work. But if I word it just like them, it's going to get some views. And it got over 1,200 views very quickly. I've not checked it now, but just in a matter of minutes. And people were commenting, for you page, because they're so contrary. because I said it probably won't work, they want to prove that I'm wrong. So they think they're doing me a favor by telling me. But really, it's the contrary in them that makes them like, hey, you're wrong. It's on the For You page, right? They want me to know that. And I knew that they would want me to know that. So that's why I put that like that.
So check this out.
I may not be TikTok famous, but I have never posted a video of me shaking my butt for likes.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke made it. Yaddy, 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 yaddy.
So does that not make you laugh?
That's the best. That's the best. He did not. I wonder if they. Well, I mean, I got a notification, so I mean, I guess he saw. He needs to share it, like redo it. I think they're great. I've saw some really good ones. You can like the creative mind, the mind that actually thinks like that and can, do all that. Like I am applauding them. They are terrific. Like, wow. It's like, but over there, the worse you suck, the better off you are.
Exactly. That's why I did that quick video of us. I was like, I don't care if it's my green screen showing or whatever. I'm just showing up. And
right, why not? Because that's what works over there. TikTok is not the Instagram that like Instagram, your picture should be perfect and da, 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 da. But TikTok, no, honey. No, honey. Got to be weird. You got to be offbeat. You got to be, just whatever that's not perfect. Anything that's not perfect. You'll be great.
Somebody said to me, Lynn, you weren't lip syncing. I said, that was the point. I wasn't trying to lip sync. All right, so let's go to this. What things have you let go out loud? And you, of all people, have let go a lot of things out loud. So, actually, you know what?
A little more specific.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go to this because I'm going to bypass that and I'm going to throw this up here. Now, listen closely.
So, have you ever gotten yourself in a pickle? What kind of pickle would you say you got yourself into? That you learned the most valuable lesson ever.
What kind of a pickle?
Other than your life, right? Because you've gotten yourself out of a lot of pickles. I mean, when you figure you struggled, something that you struggled with, and yet you can kind of laugh about now or realize that you worried for nothing, or just a funny story, just silly.
I have no idea. There's so many, like, obviously I went through a crap ton of stuff, but it's like, what do I pick?
Something entertaining. I'll consider if it's pickle relish or whatever.
I don't know.
What kind of jam have you gotten yourself into? What predicaments you've gotten yourself into is basically what it means.
Well, I know, but how do you, I'll tell you one that was ridiculous. I was homeless, right? Okay. And this is not meant to make anybody sad, laugh about it. I do. I was homeless and it was wintertime and I literally go to jail. I go to the courthouse and I asked the judge to put me in jail in front of everybody in the courtroom. He's looking at me like I'm insane, but I'm like, would you please just put me in jail? I would just like to stay. I would just like to go to jail. And even though I thought I was insane, he put me in there and I stayed for months until it got warm. And then I asked him to get out. And the lesson I learned was it's jail. It's not the Holiday Inn. They're not just going to let you out when you say, buzz me out. No. You have to wait until they can get him to sign the paper. Of course, he was happy to do it. He was confused why the heck I was even there. But I ended up being in there with my mother. Like it got real special while I was on my chosen stay. So much so that I wanted to stay and protect her, but I wanted to stay I had to leave before I killed her at the same time. Right. And they could not come to that door fast enough for me, but it was great. It ended up the lesson I learned, one, is that they would do it. That was a big lesson for me at the time, because there was no shelters, there was no help, there was no, whatever. So if I'm freezing to death and they keep adding charges to my record for trespassing because I'm sleeping on this farmer's market little barn thing, I might as well just have them go ahead and put me in there with no charge and just wait out the winter, and that way I can just sleep anywhere, won't matter.
I get vulnerable right with you, and I've never shared or partaked in the pickle story, but the pickle story you reminded me about was one time my husband at the time just tried to get me out of the house, and he called the cops and accused me of shaking our youngest daughter.
Oh,
And so they took me
Yep.
to the psych ward, and I'll tell you what, they're like, yeah, did you do that? And I'm like, no, I didn't do it. And I was going to be I was a former cop. I mean, I just like it insulted my intelligence. But the funny thing was, is they were like, can you pee in a cup? And I'm like, I'm peeing in a cup. I'm like, so what do you want? I'm like, oh, I'm taking drugs. Well, that wasn't a smart damn thing to say, because I had to pee in the cup. And then they put me in the psych ward with some crazy ass people. So, and I was going through menopause because I had a full hysterectomy then. So long story short, it ain't no joke when you say the wrong thing to the wrong folks.
yeah, especially when they're like they have control. He kept looking at me like, are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm like, and he even asked me, are you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. Just put me in there. And he's like, well, if you never want out, let me know. And I took that to be like, okay, well, I can get out.
Girl, I'm not knocking mental health, because I mean, I've gone through stuff too, and depression and blah, blah, blah. But I will tell you this.
They take things literally.
The psych ward is just as bad as jail to me. So don't ever try.
Where I was at was like a country club. You think a drug addict is going to put themselves in jail when they couldn't get it? No, I was not. There was more in there than there was on the street, which is why I was happy to go. The problem with jail was my mother was there.
Isn't that something, how he just, man, it's funny, but it's not funny. But,
It's not funny. It's
no.
It wasn't funny at the time.
Right.
But you can laugh now, and that's
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I would kill somebody, they said. Well, go tell somebody I shook my kid. Watch me. I will climb you like a tree. What? No. And then get stuck in a no. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I would have been so.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. So what's the biggest factor that has helped you be successful?
The biggest factor is not think that the answers lie within me somewhere, because they sure don't. To look to somebody that's already done the thing that I want to do, not somebody who sounds really smart and talks about cool stuff, like they sound like they know what they're doing, but they've not actually done it. Or maybe like this one, really, you can tell this one kind of fires me up. Or maybe, I didn't go find somebody who recruited one person and became a top leader because of that one person. I went to coaching to people who actually built from scratch and knew what they were doing, and I followed directions. So being coachable, learning from somebody who's done the thing that you want to do, follow the directions, not insert your own directions in the middle of theirs or change it or whatever, and actually do what they tell you to do versus only study what they say. I feel like that happens far too often. It's like I don't know, it's like a learning mode. At the very beginning, I found myself in it for like, it was a couple months. I'm like, what? This is not work. I'm doing nothing.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I've got another show, Real and Raw, after this, and we're talking about the difference between coaching and teaching, between coaches and teachers, and the fact that, if anything, if you're not open or resonate, or you don't know somebody's credentials, you're wasting your time with all of the above. So once you realize that you're not teaching yourself the right way, and you find a mentor, they should have a success rate. And that makes a big difference, because you can waste your time, even though you're looking for somebody to shorten the time. With the wrong people, you're wasting your time. So that's huge. It's huge. And so we're going to discuss that in my next show here. So I totally agree with you. Let's see. So what what mistakes have you made along the way? And I mean, I know there's a big list of that and we could do a show of that, but but what I'm saying is now on your successful road, when you started being coachable, what are the things that you feel that helped you?
Well, I mean, a couple of the mistakes that I made was not understanding that I was seeking conversation in my market. I wasn't seeking conversion. I feel like that's probably the biggest mistake I've made. I've talked about it before, not on here obviously, but when you're a marketer and you're posting, your goal should be to get people to talk to you, to have conversations. It's not your post or your video or whatever to sell them, to convert them, but to get them to reach out and have a conversation. I feel like I posted seeking conversion for so long that I would probably be way far. I would have got way farther along way faster if I had made that connection. I'd heard it. I'd heard it. But because I wasn't saying, hey, this is $14, right? I thought, oh, I'm not doing that. When in reality, I was doing that. And it wasted a lot of time. I wasn't doing 14 bucks, but basically I was selling a thing in my post when that should never be the case. You
Yeah,
see conversation, you turn those what would be leads, you turn them into prospects, and then you go from there. It's like that's how you do it. The sales go down in the DMs. It's not some post somebody sees, and that mistake probably cost me a lot of money.
yeah. Well, they made up a decision. They did their homework with Grandpa Google and all that stuff, so they didn't have to talk to you, and they didn't have to come and see what you were doing. So yeah,
Right.
okay,
I mean, even if I didn't say the name of the company, it didn't matter. It was still the same thing. It's like,
right,
see, this is what I've got this.
right,
This is this. And if you want to buy it, you can go to
yeah,
www.michelleeldridge.com. And they can't, like, what?
right.
No, you can't do that. You can't. So once I figured that out, or reach out to me for the website, they're not there yet.
Yep. Yeah,
They're
it's like,
not there yet. They're not getting on social media to get there yet.
yep, it's
I had to
like,
learn to be the person that gets them and find out where I can serve them, have the conversation with them, and put them, in find what's best for them and put them with it. But
right.
it's not going to come from a post. That was a big one. That's probably, to me, that's my biggest one because I did it for so long. Time is everything. You cannot get time back, and I wasted a lot of it doing that. I
Well,
probably did that for a year and a half, maybe even 2.
that's a good lesson to learn, that's for sure. What makes a person beautiful to you?
Being able to just be themselves, whoever they are. It's not about an appearance. It's about being able to act, look, do, say whatever they want. That's them, not what their mom thinks they should say or do, or what they think their mom wants them to say or do or be or act or wear or whatever, or not what society says looks good, not whatever what they are, who they are. If somebody fully owns who they are 100%, that's beauty to me. And we all will, like, I don't feel like there's a human on the planet that's never been insecure about something or that doesn't have some kind of insecurity here, there, or yonder. But there's so, like, it's way too often that I see people walking around acting like somebody else that is not them. And it's so easy to see. I can spot it from a mile away because when I was on drugs, I would have to pretend to be somebody else. And that I can spot it. When you've done it, you know it. You can see it. And it's so detrimental, especially somebody in the industry that I'm in, because they can't actually attract people that is actually a good fit for them or for the other person. It's doing a disservice on both ends because at some point it's gonna come out. They're gonna figure it out. They're either repelling people because they already know that it's not them. They just know something is off. The energy is off. Something ain't right. or they sign them up or sell them something, and somewhere down the road in the conversation they figure out that's not who I thought that person was.
Michelle, those are all the things I think about you. So thank you for explaining who you are and what beauty is when I see you.
Thank you.
So keep your advice and realize.
I try to be myself because that's the only way that I could to grow my business. The only way to do that and to get the people that I should actually serve is to be me. Period.
Absolutely, absolutely. So which of your personality traits has been the most useful to you?
It's been the most useful. My ability, I think obviously, I think being a talkative person definitely serves me. I can. Talking definitely serves me, and it used to be something I was embarrassed about. Because when I was little, when your grandparents are raising you and they're telling you, you talk too much, you talk too much, you talk too much, and I know for a fact I talk a lot. I don't need anybody to tell me, but then it would embarrass me. And so I'm able to own that now, and I'm grateful for that. And then probably a close second is my ability to carry weight for other people, and it doesn't so much weigh me down or make me feel heavy, but I really can. If I'm talking with somebody, I can really feel and hear and hold space for them without just hear the words come out of their mouth and then I respond and there's actually nothing there. You know what I mean? There's no actual concern or whatever it was. It's like an automatic robot. That's just not. I can tell when anybody's like that. I know exactly when they're like that. So I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not like that. And with that, I've made it like that's how I have a team who they're all so different. They're all so different, and they felt like the misfit in some way, form, or fashion. At some point, in some way, different. But we come together and we're all different together. It works so well.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Now, do you have a favorite quote?
I really, Ray, one of Ray's, ever since I saw it, I really love it, is The Man, the Arena, the one that he likes so much. I really like that. It's really long.
Yeah.
But more or less, if you're sitting on the sideline critiquing somebody and they're in the arena, shut up. Like it's just not. It's not serving you to talk about somebody when you're on the sidelines.
And that's just the same thing in life. I mean, it's like, you've had kids, and when you're going in labor, having, somebody in there that's never had kids, because I asked everyone that was in my room, who had kids after losing my baby and actually knowing I was going to deliver this one. I'm like, you have kids, and then the one that doesn't have any babies telling you to push it, don't hurt. I'm like, shut up, you got dogs at home. I don't want to hear from you.
Right.
It's like anything, until you've been through it, you can't talk about it. And
not from a place.
Yeah, so it's just totally amazing. So I'll put you on the spot with this one. Do you know any funny jokes by heart?
Do I know any funny jokes by heart? I'm trying to think. I'm sure I do, but won't think of it right now.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
If I do before we get off here, I'll say it.
Oh man. Let's see. Okay, so if you had to start all over, what would you do differently? And I know
I wouldn't wait to start building my team. I think I knew that I would trust myself sooner, and I would know that it's not about me at all. Like as far as business, if I was to start all over in that, it would be to build my team immediately and know that I don't carry that much weight, that it's not actually on me to build their business. They have a business. So I don't need to be good at anything except pointing to the answers, the end. But if I could, as far as like actual life, if I could start all over again, what would I do different? Not a dang thing. Nothing. Nothing. Because if if I did start over and did things differently, there would be no way that I would be here in the same life that I'm living with, the same kids that I've got, the same husband that I have. And so I wouldn't change anything. It would suck to have to go through it all again. but I wouldn't change anything. So
That's a great answer. I believe that would be the way to realize that you wouldn't even be this empathetic. You wouldn't have had the life you have now. So, let's see. Really quick before we leave here, what book recommendations do you think have impacted your life? And of course,
so
we got
like I love books.
Ray Higdon's latest book is one that everybody should get.
Oh yeah, everybody should have Time, Money, Freedom, 100%. That's such a good book. But as far as I would say, Can't Touch Me by David Goggins. It's a really good book. I love that book. It's like, somebody didn't do the 4-minute mile till they did. You can't. I just love how hard he works. You know what I mean? And then after that person did that 4-minute mile, a ton of people did. Another one that I really, really love that everybody needs, and they need it like yesterday, and Ray recommended this one to me, was The Big Leap. It by Gay Hendricks. It's so good. I listen to it at least 4 times a year. It's about upper limits, and it kind of it helps you. It's hard to listen to at the very beginning, especially the first time, but every time I listen, I get something different. But it's about, helping you get to the core of like why you're stuck at a certain place, find out what that is, and then getting past it. And those upper limits everybody has them, no matter what level you're at. You get to a ceiling and you either bust through it or stay, and then up and down, up and down, up and down, right below that ceiling. So those two especially are great. The Third Door, I really love that one too. It's by, I don't even remember who it's by.
It's okay. The title will work.
But it's good. Like I have a ton. I could do this all day long. Anything by Mel Robbins, by it.
Yes.
Like I love books. Oh, and I will tell you another one, and this is not because of anything other than factual. This is helpful. And Vibrational Money Immersion by Ray Higdon. That book is so good. Anybody could take that book and guarantee make more money, but just because of the way that we don't realize we're thinking about it.
I ordered the book, and then he also has that mindful thing. He had a course on it too that I think came before the book. So the audio is really awesome.
Yeah. What is it? Power Mind?
Yeah. Power Mind.
Yeah, I think it was the first one ever. And I still listen, like there's those downloads he has like before bed meditation and before you prospect. I actually have all those on my phone, and I listen to, it's not every night, but I did for a long time listen to them every night. But I still have them on my phone and listen to them from time to time. And it's, but the book is off the chain.
Yeah, I'd probably have it all highlighted without a doubt. It would be just crazy.
That's what you do with a good book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're getting close to the wrap up here. If anybody had any questions for you, feel free to ask them. I'm going to ask you this last question. What is the first thing you notice about a person?
It's not so much something that when the word notice is in there, you think of what do you see almost. Like to me, I see that and I think, what do I see? But for me, I don't see really anything. I feel.
Energy.
So it's whether it's a text message, whether it's it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's still the same. I am feeling for for the vibe, for the energy, for the whatever. That's the first thing that I noticed about a person. You can tell so much. I think Sean Murphy said this, and I love him so much. He said, "Your energy speaks so loud that like you don't have to say a word. You
Yep.
don't have to say anything. Your energy's telling me enough." And I love that because that's it. I don't have to hear anything. I can feel it.
And that's usually what I share on the show is I tell people that, like I said, I loved you from the minute I saw you and I followed you. And then I was scared. And then I said, okay, I'll send her a friend request. And then she accepted my friend request. And then you talked to me. And I don't mean starstruck type of thing like that. It's just that you're such
I know exactly what you meant.
It's just that you have such a huge presence. You bring so much love and joy for everybody that's around you. I didn't want to be one of the ones that was energy sucker or anything to, because I'm just saying that there's so many people will gravitate to you that are the wrong energy. And yet I knew you probably were being overwhelmed. So if you recall, I actually on the down low, when it was not a busy time for you, or you hadn't done a podcast or you hadn't showed up here, I reached stuff to you in off season because I wanted you to know it was just genuine. It wasn't for any other reason, but that I felt you and I just had to reach out and
I did appreciate it. It was, I mean, for the longest, for 2020, almost the whole year, I was under the weather, like for the most of it. And there, you checked on me often, and you don't forget stuff like that. But from the first message, I knew that there was no agenda. So, I mean, just like that's why that questions and go back to that. It's just like you can tell. I know when somebody thinks they're about to play me.
And I love that because I hid for a long time how prophetic, how intuitive, and how people are. And I hid that because when people know those things, they come to you even more because they think you're psychic, or they think that, hey, can you give me lottery numbers? that kind of stuff. And I was but now I'm in my own where I said, I can tell and I can be forward with those people and say, I feel it took me to be 55 to realize that I'm comfortable saying, this is who I am. Yeah. And I, only let certain people in, so to speak. But I love how there's just this energy. And even when I met Ray 3.5 years ago in person, it's just like, I love that we don't need to talk every day for me to see a post and me give you a little heart and I'm thinking of you, Right. It's just if we all have the ability to do that, we just don't listen to it. We just like the drama and the friction instead. Get away from that.
We let the other stuff take over, and it's a choice.
Yeah. It's a choice. Oh, Michelle, I hope that sometime soon I can invite you being back and we can have some other fun topics because I feel like this hour has gone by so fast.
Oh, it has. I can't believe it.
And I thank you so much for taking the time out to be here. We didn't get to talk beforehand, so it was a blessing because it was just off the cuff.
I'm so sorry, but I just got the iPhone, and my other phone would just let me do it. And I'm like, wait, what? So I had to mess with that for forever to get on, but I'm so glad that you asked me, and I really am I'm just so glad we did. I'm so glad we got to meet, and we can definitely do it again anytime.
Because I think we have some good topics. We can help some people, and it's just one of those things. Telling your stories, like you said, you don't want anybody to make you feel bad for it. It's just you're explaining how you empathize with them, and I think that's the importance that people should realize. It's when you come from a place of just trying to help those resonate, you shouldn't have to show your resume, but we got enough energy to give the love to everybody. So this hour is very, very special to me. Beautiful. I'm so grateful to hear that you are doing better, and thank God. I mean, you're an inspiration to many people. Keep being who you are, and you're going to be blessed tenfold. I'm actually definitely ending this here in a few minutes because I have that other show, Real Raw, and I've got to change my scenery. I'm a stage crew, so I got to change my background and get all comfortable. So I'm doing 2 shows back to back now. So, because I love doing this. So thank you so much, Michelle, for being here. You stay right there. I want to share just this little video that you're going to see at the end is just little clippings of people saying thank you to Michelle, and look how she shows up for people, but mostly listen to the words. Stay tuned. Hold on. And I'll see you at the next show.
Grab your friends, find your enemies and make amends, and we'll meet in the middle. Take the pride and set it aside. My hands will build you a shield, and we'll solve the